I'm Dan Morris, you're watching Bosun Dan Bushcraft, and today I have rather a lot of grass to mow. That is not what the video is about though, as I'm pretty sure nobody really wants to have a live tour of a bone-shaking ride-on lawnmower. I'll comment if you do. I can always get a, what would be the word? Point of view of a ride-on lawnmower. But today what we're going to take a look at is a little bit more into the realm of survival. Now, I personally think survival, bushcraft, it's basically one and the same. I know bushcraft's more about living it, survival's just staying alive, but the skills are transferable. Oh, vitamin coffee. Now, today what we're going to take a look at is water and the procurement of water. Pretty darn essential. I think we can all agree. No matter where you are, what you're doing, you're going to need water. Now, I get it. I live in the northern hemisphere in Staffordshire, England, which is just about the wettest place on earth. And I don't want any viewers from around the world to be giving me no nonsense about no monsoon. You only get it for a short time. For us, it's pretty much year round. So what we're going to take a look at today is the solar still, or one variation of a solar still. Now, there are many ways to make solar stills or other general purpose stills. Well, I'm going to do sort of a mini series on it, but today's is just going to be one variant of it. Now, this water doesn't look dirty. I appreciate that actually looks pretty crystal clean. However, it isn't. I had this out of the water butt back at home, and it's full of all manner of mosquito larvae and moss, but because it's stood still, most of that has settled and it looks crystal clean. But I know it isn't crystal clean, and if I smell it, which you guys can't smell, it has the distinctive smell of exhaust and two-stroke oil, which is mostly because me and my dad were fixing one of our boat engines the other day, which is a two-stroke, and when you're messing with those, the prop has to be in water, so we use the water butt. That is not drinkable, regardless of how clear it is. So we need to find a way to make it drinkable. Now, solar stills are really good in the way of how they actually work, because it doesn't really matter what state your water is in. Or what is in it, because pretty much all contaminants that could be in that water are not going to evaporate and then recondense. So bugs, and I can't speak for petrol because petrol does evaporate, worrying, but bugs and disease and other contaminants do not evaporate and then recondense. They are left behind. So theoretically this should work with anything liquid, right up to your own urine. Grizzly. I'm going to cut this label off to give it a bit more surface area. So what I'm doing is crushed it. What I'm doing is quite simple stuff, really. Pop that in the old pocket. I take this bottle, I've cut the bottom off it. Now what I'm going to do is fold it in on itself. At the base there. And with this bottle, it really isn't easy because it's all shaped. So we just sort of struggle our way through, but we do have a rather loosely constructed water catcher down there. Now, if you were genuinely in a survival situation, you're going to need a lot of these to make enough water to survive. Depending on where you are in the world though, plastic bottles and things are readily available. They are discarded all over the world and they just sort of float around and linger around. That should catch the water when it evaporates out of this bottle. So what I'm going to do is, with this silliness, I don't need that, I'm going to take this bottle with the contaminated water and rather unceremoniously shove it. And see, now I've just splashed it. Let's just make sure that that's drained out. Then what we're going to do is take this bottle, put it inside our catcher bottle. Theory being that what will happen is that this water is going to evaporate and get trapped in here and then collect in this little groove. It should be thoroughly pure and drinkable at that point. Now, again, as I've said, it's not going to be a vast amount, so as per survivally things, you would need rather a lot of these. And another problem that we are rather up against is it is not a massively sunny day. So the volume of water to be trapped in there, you're going to get what you get. The good news, though, on the lines of that and sunlight, is that water doesn't just evaporate because of sunlight. It will do it because of just air pressure and things like this. Now, I know everybody thinks that water is reactive between its 3 stages, as in water can be a solid, as in ice, it can be a liquid, water, and it can be a gas, as in steam. Those 3 stages aren't strictly connected to temperature. Those will also be affected by air pressure and other things, and this is why your car doesn't boil over, is because basically the radiator and water system is a pressurized system. Water can't boil in a pressurized system. It's also the reason why when you have a coffee on an airplane, it's always disappointing and a little bit cold. It's because literally you are in a pressurized cabin. The water cannot boil. It can, there's all different ratios as per how much pressure that you're actually in, but basically on an aircraft you'll get it up to about 80 odd degrees or something, but you're very unlikely to get to boiling point, but all of that. So even though we don't have a massive volume of sunlight today, the chances are that water is still going to evaporate and we should get something out of it. And also, because we've got a bottle in a bottle, we've basically created there a mini cold frame or cloche greenhouse, basically. That should get some evaporation kicking off. Now, this is a bit of a slow process, as all solar stills are. So I'm going to leave this whilst I go off lawn mowing, and we'll come back to it in a couple of hours and see if we've actually managed to create any clean water. Like I say, it's going to be milliliters of clean water. We're not going to be looking at a vast quantity, but if this was all that you had, you would have to do it just to stay alive. So that's basically what this version of a solar still looks like, with a recycled bottle. And it's just going to sit here, and hopefully in a little while the sun will come out and that'll help us on our way. Okay then, folks, so it's been about 4 hours, because I've done some other things. It doesn't quite take 4 hours to mow everything, but I've done some other things, because this is a time thing and it takes more time than you think. So if I can pull the old contaminated bottle out, and you can see there is water in there. Now that should be clean and safe to drink. I had to keep coming back to it and moving it around to keep it in the sun, because when we started this morning, the sunlight was terrible. Now it's gone glorious. It doesn't look it so much right now because we're under some trees. We've got some shade. Now, don't laugh at this. I did say it takes a while, so if I can get hold of that, you can see there is a tiny amount of water in there. It's not even a shot glass worth. I did say, in reality, if you're in the desert or somewhere dry and you were trying to survive, you're going to need to make a few of these. But anything's better than nothing. It doesn't smell of anything. All it tastes of is a cardboard cup. And the original one, I mean, that smells oily and gross. Like I said, that's out of the water, but and that is odorless, pretty much flavourless clean water. And you can do it from pretty much any water source, and no contaminants will transfer when you do it. So although it's not the quickest, most efficient way, there are much more efficient ways of doing it. We'll take a look at those another time, but that is how you can purify pretty much any water with just a couple of plastic bottles and a solar still. And of course, I know that wasn't a great vast quantity of water, but it's only been like 4 hours. If you're in a warmer environment or you've got longer to wait, you're gonna get more. Make a few of them. But that's it for today, guys. So as always, get yourselves out there, get bushcrafting, get having fun, above all be safe, and I'll catch you on the next one.